Welcome back, everybody. It's Kevin Knowles. This is segment 3, week 4 of YGO University. I am joined by my lovely co-hosts,
Bryce,
Jeremy,
and Alex.
And again, if you do enjoy our content, please check us out at patreon.com/TCGUniversity. Now, kind of segueing from what we were talking about, like with the danger cards, I want to kind of talk about the worldwide release of Yu-Gi-Oh! And if we combined the TCG and the OCG together, if we all had one meta, kind of the impact that it would have on the game and like what everybody's thoughts are on it. Alex, let's hear from you first.
I think that if they unified it, it would be good that you could have worldwide tournaments, much like another card game, Magic the Gathering.
Oh.
Yeah, it would be great that you could have tournaments where everybody could go to and play their cards.
But we already have a worldwide tournament. It's called Worlds.
But I mean like the YCSs.
Yeah, I know.
I
But the
think-
problem with that is they have their own format, which is a bullshit.
I think it would be healthy for the game. And just like off of what you were saying, like the tournaments, I think YCSs already get like 1,500 to 2,000 people, even more sometimes. And then if you start including these international scenes into it more, like the Japanese crowd and everything, I think we'd see easily 3,000-4,000 person tournaments, which maybe on the organizer side, they're like, oh, maybe we don't want that. But I think if you prepare for it, I think you're ready for it. And I think that'd be awesome. I think it'd be super cool. And even like a Japanese YCS and everybody just like flocking to Japan. I mean, I'm Japanese, so I'm pretty biased, but I would love that because it'd be a cheap, like a decently priced YCS for me, having family there. But overall, I think it would be awesome for the game. And I feel like that's a huge rift in it, is that we have two Yu-Gi-Oh communities. We don't have a singular Yu-Gi-Oh community. We have two different ones that operate on their own time and everything. And the huge thing with OCG right now is that it's just a completely different format than what we have. Like, it's completely different. Considering they're a couple sets ahead of us, they've got different OCG exclusives. We have TCG exclusives, i.e. the danger cards. And we never get those OCG exclusives usually. Like, I know in Japan they get all the TCG ones. They get them in this little special box that includes all of them if you buy it. But they release those at like a year at a time. But yeah, like I said, I think overall, like, it just helped tournaments and it'd make Worlds a lot more interesting, because the reason I don't care about Worlds is that it's a completely different format than TCG and OCG. It's like a weird mixture format. So it really doesn't like prove anything. I think we can see that from the results that I think 0 Americans have ever won it. Like,
But there's the pros as well, like Crystal Fiber or whatever the hell
Needle
it's called.
Fiber.
Crystal Needle Fiber.
Crystal Fiber. You
Needletron,
just
Crystal
combine
Fiber.
them together. We
Crystal
don't
Needle
have to
Fiber.
deal with that bullshit card
Because they figured it out.
They figured it out over in Japan. They're our guinea pigs. They get to figure out what the
dehumanize
shit doesn't
people.
work, and then we get to be like sick. Now I don't have to play with that card.
yeah, but now we have to play with danger cards.
Yeah, well, that
And-
was just our fuck up because we're just idiots. Konami TCG was just like, you know what? We're gonna print fucking 9 cards that say draw 1 card on it
And special.
and
Print 4
cantrip.
more.
and they're all dark.
I mean, at least they were just like, you know what? We fucked up. They made some sweet new TCG exclusive archetype, like, or whatever, Time Thieves or
Time
whatever.
Thieves.
They're like, we're gonna make this instead now because we can't make any more of these danger cards.
Your deck will be
We-
40 danger cards.
Yep. Or they would be like, we can just play 60 because they all do the same thing. Wow.
I think, yeah, but overall, I mean, I'm just a huge proponent of including both communities. And I mean, talking about Magic the Gathering, like, their tournament structure right now is pretty bad. Their attendance is getting lower and lower, and I think this is the time for Yu-Gi-Oh to take it over and be like the top dog.
The worldwide. Why?
But
Why?
the problem is that like Magic is a worldwide community. Like, they have like pro tours in all of the different places. They have Grand Prix in European countries and Asian countries and America and then South America, and they have people flocking to them from all over. And then here it's like, oh wow, that YCS is in Australia. Maybe not. Like, it just creates a rift because it's like, it's not worth going to it. But if there's a lot of people, I mean, that comes out to prize pool too. And then they start like combining the communities and getting more support for it and better prize pools, and then, you know, more people show up, and then they can start increasing the prize pool more. It's just circle that it's like a cycle that just keeps on giving.
So we
I think
kind of
it'd be
talk
s-
about the pros and cons, but like if they were to implement it, there is also some issues considering like the second place market and whatnot, the rarities of cards for like older sets and whatnot. So I think that's
Oh
a
yeah, there's huge
interesting thing.
implications on that, and that's come down to how they print cards over there and over here. We've seen that through booster sets. I mean, I'll say it time and time again. Like the main proponents of it are like Dark Arm Dragon, Pot of Duality. I know this set like Psychic Wielder was a common in Japan, and it's a secret here. So we see a lot of disparaging like rarity prints, even through the booster sets, and we don't even get a unified booster set. Like it's kind of crazy how different it is. I think how they have to go along with it would just, I think it's nearly impossible now for them to do
To
it.
unify,
Yeah,
I think they would have to stop producing cards in the OCG and then have us catch up, and then
or
Or
just
the OCG just dies.
that's
yeah,
not
and then
gonna
it's
happen.
just well, yeah, but then that's an interesting
Then
way to
yeah,
go about
then
it.
the TCG
'Cause
just
then-
keeps it up. They make the US show. I don't know.
I think in Japan
I
it's
don't
way too
know.
big right now. Like if you I don't know if people
Yeah,
look
I
at like
don't
tournament attendance and everything. It's
mean,
crazy
yeah.
high there.
I feel like if
Is
they
it?
were going to unify it, the best way to do it would be like a Band-Aid. You just one motion right off, just announce it.
I
that-
think you just announce it and then release the set for America. I think you just release the set for America. You put in all the TCG exclusives. You're like, hey, buy this tin and it has all of our exclusives in it. It's $40. And then, hey, this has all the OCG exclusives in it. It's $40. And then Konami just makes a lot of money at the same time as unifying the formats. And then they just like unify the ban list. They're like, this is our ban list now. And then just like combine the two and then just kind of shuffle it together. And I think, yeah, like you said, just do a Band-Aid and just go, this is the change. It's happening. Here it is.
one motion right
Just
off.
boom. And I think that's how they have to do it now because the longer they wait, it's just getting more and more and more separated, which is just scary thought. Like, I just really want them to put it together. And for the pure fact that I speak Japanese and I would much prefer to use Japanese cards
'Cause they're
than I
cheap.
would any other languages.
And their names are so much better. I love the Japanese names so much better.
But I think
Oh,
the
you
magic
mean like
rule.
the little symbols that I can't
Yeah,
read?
dude.
I think the main thing is in Magic, like as long as the picture box is like all of the art is the same, and that's all they care about. Like when you alter cards and everything, as long as the main picture stays unchanged, and then the name box, that's all they care about in Magic.
Yeah, well, I know, I know in Yu-Gi-Oh too. We've run into problems with like mistranslations too. Like, for example, one I know off the top of my head was what was it? Manifestation, Altergeist Manifestation.
Yeah.
That was ruled differently in the OCG than it was here because it was a weird translation. And so if we had like the worldwide releases where everyone gets the same card, hopefully with the same translation, I think that would fix that issue a little bit where we wouldn't have different rulings because in the two different. You know, the TCG and the OCG, so we have a more consistent ruling basis as well.
That too.
There's also
I think that
different
comes down to the-
rulings in the American TCG versus the European TCG, which like that's not even a different. We all have the same cards.
Well,
pretty
they don't
much,
get
and
like
that's still
our
an issue. So that's I
like
don't
the
even know what they're
promo
gonna do with
stuff,
that.
but yeah,
I
they
think
get
the
basically
issue
the same
there
stuff we
is
do.
The judging, like, there's no unified, like, rule book. Like, there's no. This is how it works. This is it. This is the interaction. Because even if you go to a big event like YCS Chicago, like you might have one judge one round and then the next judge in another round, and they both rule it differently. And it's just because there's no like real like big way of having a judging test. In Magic, becoming a judge is like an arduous long thing, but it's for that reason because they want it to be every judge knows the rules the same way, everything's ruled the same way. They know exactly how the card interactions work. This is how they all work. This is how it's going to be ruled every time. And I like that. I like having a better solidified judging staff rather than just having these people that, oh, do you want to judge this event? Cool.
we need people.
We need people to judge. And I think that comes down to compensation for
That
judging
even
too.
happened to you this weekend. They're like, Richard asked you if you
Yeah.
wanted to judge.
when I dropped out, he was like, we need judges. And I was like, dude, Richard, I was like, I've been playing for like 2 weeks. There's no way I can start judging rulings. Plus, I don't want to deal with the drama that you had to deal in my match. So, but I think like the judging program could use a huge boost like that too. And I think Konami just it's almost feels like they don't care to change. Like they're almost like content with how the game is, and they're just like, it's okay. Like we don't want to make it better, but we also don't want to make it worse, kind of idea.
I mean, because like both sides of the game are still in a pretty decent place, I would think. Like, you know, there's still a pretty large player base, and you know, it does kind of suck that there are, you know, 2 separate ban lists, or we see these cool videos on YouTube about this cool new card that's coming out in a showcase with, you know, an OCG deck that we're not going to get for like 2 years, which sucks.
We
But
see all these needle fiber combos, and we're just like,
yeah, I know.
dang.
I'm very happy that nobody's played that card against me
Agreed.
my whole life.
But then we miss out on things like the Burning Abyss Link monster.
Yeah, but
It's a
then
fair trade.
but then,
Honestly.
well, it feels like at least the OCG eventually gets the cards that we have, eventually. But we still see, you know, all the stuff like the Burning Abyss Link, or all the stuff from, what is it, Link Brains packs or whatever, that we've gotten like almost none of, and they've been getting to play with those forever.
Yeah.
So I want the new stuff.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's almost like it's almost
Poor
super
Jeremy.
jealousy, like because they get more than we do usually.
Mhm.
That's the idea.
It's bullshit. I want
There's
my
no-
cards, and I want them now.
There's no
Damn,
difference.
this is how it
Well, and I think that also
I'm revolting. This is some hot bullshit. I want my fucking Burning Abyss cards
now.
I want.
Well, and I think we also
You just
see-
want to stop FTKing people.
I know. I know.
But I think even then, like the 2 ban lists take a different approach to how they ban cards. Like in OCG, Cannon Soldier's banned. Here, it's all the cards that make Cannon Soldier good are
Fucking
banned.
Maxi.
Well, and then we also see stuff like emergency bans with like Tyrant Neptune. Like we see how like the OCG breaks a card, and then before it's even like released, he's just like, oh, by the way, yeah, I know you just pulled this cool card out of the pack, but it's already banned.
Like, sorry.
It's lit, right?
We knew
You
that was
don't have to
bad.
That's
deal
one of
with
the
it.
pros. Yeah,
It's a
I would
pro.
put that in the pro column.
Like Gores was limited
Either
right when
one.
it came out
Yeah.
because they knew they're like this card should never
This
be
card's
at 3.
nuts.
And then they used to have it where they had just a unified ban list, and then like Tengu came out and it's legal for
They're
2
like,
years.
no.
And then they're like, we can't hit it because it's legal in the TCG. We got the OCG list. They don't have this card, so you're stuck with it. And you
Mhm.
just everyone
I feel
plays.
like that
3
might be what
Tengus.
dangers are going to be for a while.
No.
No, that's why we got the separate list. That way they'll just ban Nessie.
Yeah. So So
That's a
if
poll.
we ban Nessie and then the OCG finally gets it, it's a separate list. They can play 3 Nessie if they want to.
I think that's the problem with what they did with the danger cards is like there's so many of them that you'd have to like
Hit
I
all
feel like they
of
would
them.
hit them.
all of them.
I feel like they would hit them in like a hierarchical order. So like Jackalope and Nessie go to 1, and then
Snick.
Like a
Snake and the
Necroz, like
next
how they
ones
did
go
to
to 2.
Necroz,
Yeah,
where they
yeah,
put some of them
all
at
the
1.
garbage ones.
some of
stay
them at
3,
2, they
and you're
banned
just
one of 'em.
Like
You
the
can play a danger
consistency
deck if you
ones.
want.
Nope. I think they just have to. They just have to change the rules again. They're too broken.
We already
It's
need.
like-
we,
I thought-
Master Rule 5
You need
already.
purple
I thought
monsters.
pendulum monsters are too good. I was like, how do they fix it? I'm like looking at my metal foe deck. I'm like, what do? Put all these normal monsters to 1? I was like, what the fuck? It's just too good. And then they're like, well, we're just gonna change the rules. I was like, oh, that fixes it.
That makes sense.
And then
We're gonna
you're
make
like,
Link-
Wait a minute.
We're going to make
They
extra
made-
monster zones.
Yeah, they just changed the rules. So now
Well, yeah, theoretically, it was going to slow down the game, and just kidding, it didn't. Not even a little.
That's just because some of the
Nah.
cards are just kind of BS.
They
I
didn't
feel
make
like
the
if
Link
we
monster
didn't
zone
have the
game.
extra monster zone, it'd be a little bit too much
I
right
think-
now.
Agreed.
100%.
I think they
It'd be
made it
crazy.
to balance out decks that are like
pendulum
all
monsters.
extra deck versus like a Trickstar deck would not be able to work or function at all in old Yu-Gi-Oh, because an old Yu-Gi-Oh you'd just be like, it's Diffusion Norden, bring out this thing, Diamond Direwolf thing before I even normal summon, and then like I don't know,
You're
you
just
can
like,
still
huh.
do that, I guess. That'll play it. It works in Master Rule 4.
Yeah, but I think it makes
about
it makes it more fragile. You have to devote more resources to it. But
Yeah, so like a deck like Trickstars where they're like, wait a minute, I just don't have to use
Actually,
my extra deck. This is
Trickstar is a
fine.
link deck.
Yeah, they link sometimes.
It's an extra link
Only
deck.
when
I've
necessary.
seen it on the dueling.
Overall, let's
dueling
go back
book.
to the worldwide release because I think we're diverging a little bit too much. But
Just fucking do it, Konami. Like, please.
I think
One
that's
motion.
overall consensus is just please do it. Like we're tired of being the stepchild of this relationship right now.
I think it's fine.
I'm
I
gonna
think we're
move
just
out,
a
Mom.
I think we're just a nice second born, and like they figured out all their problems on the first kid,
and they got it right this time.
Nah, we got the shit stick. We're the middle child.
Oh
We're the
no,
fucking
no one loves
Europe.
this.
Europe is the youngest. We're the middle child.
I think
We're
they but they
fucked.
get shafted
They do.
a little bit.
No, they don't get Summon Sork in their format.
And they're having way more
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I guess you're
Yeah.
right.
We're the middle child. We're just getting fucked over here. They got the West and they got the East, and we're like the Midwest of
But
the world.
European YCSs have like the sweet
End of America.
coverage
We're the
and
double
like
Midwest.
all the cool stuff. They get the ordeal of the traveler mats.
Well, that's because they only get one event a year, and
What do
we're
you
like,
mean they had like 5 last year?
Yeah, the ordeal of the travelers that you traveled to a lot of
Oh,
events.
I thought that was the
that-
Australian.
No,
I
no,
thought
no,
that was the
no.
Australian
Oh,
one.
The ordeal of the
Never
travelers.
mind.
Hey, you got to go to all 6 of our European YCSs.
And then
They're
you
just
get
like
this mat.
they're all 2 hours away from me, so thumbs up from me. It's like
yeah, for us, it's like, well, I
The
got to travel
first
10
hour.
hours and then 14
The
hours.
first
and
mat for that was the Dante mat, and he's a traveler of the burning abyss.
That's how. That,
Pog.
oh, I get it.
Konami's actually a master of puns.
I think honestly, worldwide release would
Totally
change a lot.
It's not
Awesome.
funny. It's
Including
not a
the
pun.
fact, including the fact that OCG gets to use English cards.
Fuck them.
Yeah, but not vice versa.
They're allowed there. What? Like nani? That's crazy.
Can I get a translation on that?
And then That's what? And then
I
there,
actually never knew that.
I don't
Um,
read scribbles.
there they actually get to like double and triple and quad sleeve their deck as well. Like while we just get to deal with our like single.
Yeah,
sleeve
they don't
deck.
let me fucking stack here. It's bullshit.
Well, the point of triple sleeving is like, honestly, they like it because like your cards become like
Safer.
extreme plastic and they make this like crazy snapping sound when you shuffle your hand.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
That's how it was explained to me by one of the guys that went to Worlds, like a Japanese player. And then another reason is that they like to use their cool sleeves that you get, like your national sleeves, and they like to use them, but they're garbage quality. So I'm going to put these sweet, superior quality sleeves over them
I gotta protect my sleeves.
so then I can protect those sleeves because the nat sleeves are garbage. And I think I like that idea. Like, or Konami just makes better
There's
sleeves.
nothing like no
but-
sleeve in your deck. Like,
It's
it
true.
It brings you back to when you first started playing. You open your deck, you're like,
You,
Oh,
you get that sweet smell.
oh yeah.
I just-
oh yeah.
I like double sleeving my deck. I like it because in Magic I used to double sleeve my deck because it just helped with the quality of it. But overall, Konami, please give us the OC. Combine everything. Give us it.
give me a
We want everything. Give me needle fiber. It's fine. I'll deal with it. Japan can
Give
have
us
dangers,
almost
and they can
everything.
feel the
Fine.
power of rolling dice against your opponent. Just give us it
no,
all.
it's you make your opponent roll the dice.
Yeah, but
It's
more
demoralizing.
More importantly, I just
I'm
want
enabling
worlds
my
to
own
mean
deck.
something. I want the world championship to mean something. Where you're the world champ, like you conquered the format, rather than being like, yeah, the list was closer to my format
Well,
this
yeah.
year, so we won.
Yeah, they
If, like, if
conquered
we-
that format.
If we go to Worlds, it's like, yay, we conquered Japan.
yeah, it's just like
Which
dang.
is
Habit.
world.
historically impossible. Like just in talking only about Yu-Gi-Oh. It's impossible.
So I think overall we have a consensus. We want to hear from you guys, so please, please let us know in the comment section if you want a worldwide release of Yu-Gi-Oh! And then actually how you guys would go about it as well. I'm very curious. Smash the like button and please check us out on Patreon.